All right, look, everybody experienced a dump. It was nasty. Maybe you lost money. Maybe you're still up because you invested in cryptocurrency 2 years ago. Regardless, I'm going to show you guys how to swing trade Bitcoin and Ethereum because I get too many people are complaining about how much money they lost when they could have just let it go, looked at it from a non-emotional perspective, and traded the dip. I was able to accumulate Ethereum on this dip. You don't have to believe me. Even though I put the evidence for everyone to see, you don't have to believe me. I'm just going to show you how to do it. I'll give you guys my strategy, every single little detail, and exactly how to swing trade, as well as a little tutorial on TradingView so that you guys can do it yourself. Keep watching the video. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. And a wise man once told me, separate your emotions from your investments. Although I know people lost money, the emotional lash outs I'm getting in comments, the amount of people that don't take responsibility for their own actions is astronomical. I'm sorry I wasn't able to communicate that I sold the top and bought back cheaper exactly by the minute because of the latency that happens in these YouTube videos, but I will make it up to you. Instead of getting emotional about investments, let's actually trade. I've been calling it for about 15 days. Now we have other YouTubers saying that they're trading the dip. When they were telling you to hold, I was trading since the beginning. And the beauty of this is that it allowed me to make smarter decisions because my portfolio did not feel the effect of this drop. This drop wasn't that significant to me. I still, when it comes to USD value, I'm down. But when it comes to Ethereum and accumulating Ethereum, I did a lot. I made a lot of cryptocurrency during this dip. So you guys know I'm fundamentally bullish when the market comes back. I do think my balance is going to be bigger than it was when Ethereum was at its all-time high. This is a really easy strategy. Now, I want to be very clear with you guys. I do not professionally day trade in any way, shape, or form. Neither does any of my coaches. Okay, this is just a strategy. It's very simple. It's called Alex's very simple trading strategy. This probably won't work in all times of the market, but I know right now when people are super emotional, it's been working almost to the dime, like very, very on point. It's pretty straightforward. So again, I'm going to go into all the charts, et cetera, et cetera. If you appreciate this content, do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're new to this channel, guys, look, I tell the truth on the internet. I don't accept sponsorships. I actually make money with my cryptocurrency trades. And I try to show other people on the internet for free with these YouTube videos exactly how to do that. And one thing, okay, I really do believe is a unique proposition is that I do not accept sponsorships. Everything I talk about is my opinions and my opinions only. It's not scripted. Nobody else is writing content for me. It's me. And I think that's why people follow me in the first place. Let's jump into the video. So if we go to tradingview.com, there's a couple charts you need to look into. Now, keep in mind, I do have a written strategy for it. It's not completely done. But this is something that I'm doing for Fundamental Secrets. You guys can get access to Fundamental Secrets if you like. Just go to the fundamentalsecrets.com, is where I give you guys pretty much everything. They were updated when I called the top. They were updated that I sold my Ethereum when the top was in. Okay, when Ethereum was at like, I think not the exact top. I didn't sell Ethereum at 4,000. I wish I did, but I sold Ethereum at like, I think 3,700, and then I bought back in at about like 2,500. I sold a lot too, which made me a lot of money. But moving forward, all the strategies I do are updated there first. And the reason for it is because we have a community of people that are dedicated to everybody's success. You guys know about the Fundamental Secrets. I talk about it all the time, but go to the website, check it out. So these are the top charts I usually use. Now, this is not done, so take it as it is. We have the total market capitalization, which is total. All you have to do is go over here, type in total, go to full feature chart, and it'll show you everything that's ever invested in cryptocurrency. And then I'll break it down exactly how this works for my strategy. Again, it's very simple. There's usually, I know I have day trading friends. Usually it's a little bit more complicated with their strategy, but the reason why I keep it simple right now is because I like using things that everybody's looking at. Because if you're using things that everybody's looking at, it's pretty predictable. And if you look for oversold events, like super oversold events, it's very, very predictable, but I don't think it's going to work long term. But maybe you can use it right now to trade the dip, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot. If we look at total two, it's basically every cryptocurrency excluding BTC. So this is like basically telling the story of the altcoins. If we look at BTC USDT, I'm specifically using it on Binance because they have the highest liquidity and the highest trading volume. This is the best indicator in my opinion. And this is also, when you look at Bitcoin, remember, the market basically moves to Bitcoin's price. This is probably the best indicator. The second best indicator is the total. And then the third best indicator is a total two. And then I look at Ethereum for altcoins. So we're looking at ETH USDT as well. And this is something that you could look at on Binance because it has the highest trading volume as well. So I'm looking at it that way. All right. A couple other charts, kind of like secondary charts. Bitcoin dominance, if this is dropping, altcoins are doing well. ETH dominance is if typically if this is going up, that means altcoins are also doing well. If it's dropping, altcoins are doing bad. I also look at the top 100 altcoins versus BTC. All these charts, again, all of them are on TradingView. It's very simple. All you have to do is type it in here. That's how you type in that one right there, that exact code. Just type that in, go to crypto right there, and you'll get what you need. And then also for the dominance charts, all you have to do is type in BTC.D, as you can see right there. And then for the total, it's just total. And then we have total 2. And these are index charts, I believe. Yeah, if you type in index, you have to click index right there. It'll pop up. So that's how you get everything. And then this one, I'm sure everybody knows how to do ETH USDT for Binance. That one's really easy. So the time frames I'm typically looking at, okay, it's hard to tell exactly at the time. It depends on what's exactly happening. But like if we're looking at this right here, right, it's very simple. And I do it that way on purpose. Don't think I'm oversimplifying it because I don't know what I'm talking about. I can literally go and pull out, like, there's so many indicators I could use that I have on the back burner that I used to use because I used to do a little bit of day trading. The more you complicate it, the harder it's going to be. Okay. So right now, the only thing I'm doing is I'm swapping from QuickSwap on Matic Network. What that does is it allows me right here. It allows me to do very easy, simple trades to the dime for very cheap transaction fees. But the liquidity fee is pretty high, I will admit. But the thing is, you could do this on centralized exchanges as well. If you want to do that like on Coinbase or Binance alone, I think it might be cheaper there. But remember, if you're doing it on there, there is a chance that the exchange can go down. If the exchange goes down and you want to buy, there is a chance. If you put limit orders in, they might fulfill it. Not all the time. I heard it's not all the time. But long story short, I rather have that ability, considering that I'm playing with so much money. I rather have the ability for the exchange to never go down. And I just do the swaps on Matic Network with QuickSwap. It just makes it so much easier for me. Okay. And it's decentralized. So we're actually using the decentralized protocol. So moving forward, there's a couple concepts you need to understand. I'm just going to go through this sheet. The first one is the MACD. Okay. So the MACD is very simple. Okay. I'm not going to give you guys a complete tutorial. I can literally make a whole video on this. I know that I say that all the time, but if we go to indicators right here, MACD, boom, just pop that open right there. And you could see kind of like a histogram with the convergence divergence lines, as you can see there. So typically the time frames I look at, I know people don't want to do this, but I do sometimes, especially when I'm about to make a decision. I look at the minute and I look for exaggerated, kind of abnormal candlesticks. That's usually what I look at in the minute. That's it. I don't look at the MACD or anything. If I'm looking at the minute or anything below an hour, so if it's like 15 minute, if it's like the 5 minute, and I'd only do this when I'm about to make a decision. So I highly recommend you guys do not keep your eyes on the minute count. I did that a little bit and it can make you go crazy. But basically what I'm looking at usually is the hourly, the 4 hour, and the daily. Those are the best ones because you could sleep well and you don't have to stare at the chart all day. What we're looking for is this to converge or diverge. Now, if you look at the histogram, you can see that there's kind of like a darker tone and then you have the lighter tone. So the lighter tone is showing kind of like the trend is breaking. Also, if you notice, sometimes right here on the MACD, you can see how it gets like separated, like the two lines are separating, as you can see here. And these are moving averages, by the way, okay, which we'll talk about some moving averages. But you can see how they're getting bigger and bigger. That shows that the trend is strong. So the further away these lines are, the trend is stronger. If they cross, it's showing a trend reversal. So as you can see here, we came up to the top of the channel, which is this asymmetrical triangle. We'll talk about that as well. It came to the top of the channel, rejected off, came down, and then you see that it converged right here. Boom, it converged, and it showed that we're going down a little bit. But as you can see, these histograms were weak. It was small. This also shows like the volume, how long it is. And then it shows how light it is, right? You see how light it is? And then it immediately went back, and then we came and crossed again. These can be used with your technical analysis as well as the RSI. This is another indicator, and it shows if something's being oversold or overbought. Again, my goal is not to go into extreme depth with these indicators. I have tutorials in my course for that. As you can see here, it's kind of similar. Specifically, we get to the top of the channel, it's overbought, and we could see it come down. It's not always perfect. As you can see, we rise above the channel. It's overbought. When we get to the bottom of the channel, it's kind of showing that we're oversold. So it's relative strength index. So these two I use in conjunction. And then if you don't want to use these, you could use very simple metrics like volume, right? This shows basically how much volume or how many people are purchasing the asset at that time. So you can see right here, we have large red volume indicating that there's a lot of people panic selling at this drop right here. We can use this to our advantage. Well, how? This was a very easy buy. Okay, first things first, I sold at around this price range. At around this price, oh no, I think it was a little bit lower than that. It was around this price range. I sold my Ethereum, okay? When I sold my Ethereum, now my goal was to get back in because we see the market dumping, okay? First off, I want you to notice, look how exaggerated and crazy these candlesticks are. Look at the 1 hour. I caught this on the minute, actually. I was looking at the minute at the time, and look at how, like, it was so obvious. Like, it was nothing like it in recent history. And just understanding this will get you a long way. Let's bring it to the 1 hour and let's zoom in so we can get a better perspective. The 1 minute is a very annoying chart. You don't want to use the 1 minute all the time. Let's just do the 15 minutes so we can get our, as you can see here, this was extremely exaggerated. Like, me calling the top was not that hard, especially if you're watching it that close. And I was watching it that close because I did have a gut feeling that the market was going to dump. So if we take our eyes and just kind of look at this right here, we're kind of playing sideways. And then we see just a continuation of just massive candlesticks. And this is like around where I made a decision. Once I saw this, I was like, okay, we're going down. And we're also breaking out of this channel, which we'll talk about channels and asymmetrical triangles as well. And we broke down here large candlesticks. Like, look at how exaggerated and long these candlesticks are. This is a clear indication that we are basically going to continue to dump. And usually these long candlesticks are whales. It could be people selling at the bottom of a channel or at the top of a channel. But long story short, you want to look for abnormal differences in the market. So if you stare at it for long enough and you kind of look at the patterns in general, you could see the difference between normal charting and abnormal charting. Okay, you could definitely see the difference. Another thing I typically do, let's kind of just erase this so I can bring it together. So if we look at this chart, it just looks normal. I see a couple things. First thing I see is this is close to an asymmetrical triangle. I think it can pass as an asymmetrical triangle. Let's look at BTC. Let's make it easier because there is an asymmetrical triangle right there. And I do have on this right here simple chart patterns. So I'm going to kind of pull that up. Fundamental Secrets chart patterns. It basically gives you everything. So all you have to do is research it basically. These you can find anywhere on the internet. Just look up classical technical analysis and it'll give you a breakdown of what I'm talking about here. But this is an asymmetrical triangle. This is supposed to be a continuation pattern. So it's supposed to come down here and just kind of keep going down. That's what the TA is saying. But the thing is, the TA is not always on point. So if we're looking at this chart, me buying here was obvious. It was oversold. And then when it came back to the top of the channel, all I was looking at was this right here. Okay, so when we came back up, we tested off of it. I held through all of this actually. Very simple asymmetrical triangle. I just go to the top here. I'm trying to teach. I know some people are advanced that watch my videos. I get it. Just bear with me here. You'll learn something. You can see at the top of the channel, we tested off it once, twice, 3 times. So this wasn't drawn out before because obviously none of this was there. But I was waiting for it to break out of this trend right here that we can kind of draw. Right? Because you could see, let's put this on the 4 hours so you can see it more apparent. You could see that once we hit the top, you guys can see right there, once we hit the top, we kind of created this trend. And trend lines, all they are is where the price converges over time. That's all it is. You can make a support line, right? So let me just explain support and resistance. Basically, you can classify right here to support. And you can see it worked pretty well actually. Because you can see the price broke through, then it made support 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Okay. So this is classified as support. Support basically just means where the price goes to and does not break through and then bounces to the upside. And then vice versa. You could say resistance. So I take this line, put it up here. You could see that around, and it's not always perfect. You don't have to draw them like perfect, but you can see around this range, we can see the resistance here. There's resistance here. There's resistance here. There's resistance kind of here. There's resistance obviously at this price range right here. So that will be considered resistance. And then a trend line is basically the same thing, but sideways. So you could say that right here, it played as support 1, 2, 3, 4. Once support turns into resistance, it is extremely bearish, and then vice versa. Once resistance turns into support. So we broke through. Once I saw it break through this trend line that we were making right here, I knew it was exaggerated. I knew it was something bad was going to happen because we created a support. And that's what happened. I sold around this price range for that reason. And then we broke to the downside. And then I just kind of looked at history and I could see that this played as support here previously. And the price was just way over. It's like $30,000 Bitcoin's absolutely ridiculous. I was buying all the way down. I didn't buy perfectly. And I was buying ETH at the time too. But the reason we're looking at Bitcoin is, like I told you guys, Bitcoin kind of dictates the market. So I was buying like right here. I was dollar cost averaging the whole way down. And then I bought a lot right around here. So when you dollar cost average, you want to put like the most amount of money at the bottom, right? Because it gives you the best price. Moving forward, this was obviously oversold and it immediately sprung back up. Now, we're looking at the candlestick on the 4 hour, but if you look at the 1 hour, that thing sprung back up. And me buying at the bottom there, I appreciated my portfolio by 25% or whatever I bought it at. Not my whole portfolio, but whatever coins I bought at that time, it went up by 25%. And this is the beauty of dollar cost averaging. Now, from there, I was waiting for it again to break out this trend, but it didn't. And I was watching it very closely too. It didn't once. It rejected. Third time it rejected. Look at that candlestick. Look at that candlestick. right? Third time I reject it. I don't sell it exactly at the top of the channel. I wait for a confirmation. I'm not going to pull up the minute chart. It's just too much right now. But I wait for like massive confirmation. So it rejected. We started seeing this massive candlestick like being created on the hourly. I sold right around this point right here. Okay. Right around that point, I sold, got out. Then the same thing basically just happened again. Okay. The same thing exactly happened again, but it actually went a little bit less far down. So this was a very quick drop, by the way. This is like a flash crash, but look how far down it went. Same thing. Sold here, waited for it to get to the bottom of the channel. Okay. It got to the bottom of the channel and then got back in. It's very simple, guys. So you create these asymmetrical triangles. There's all different types of triangles, guys. You're going to have to look into it for yourself. There's like hundreds. I'm not going to go over it in this video. Just Google search classical technical analysis is good to learn it. I know a lot of this is based on technical analysis, but remember at the same time, I'm looking at fundamental conditions. I'm trying to see what everybody's saying. Everybody was pretty much right here was saying buy the dip. So the consensus was buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, right? Then I got out here. It was still by the dip. People thought I was going to break back right through it and be a V, like a massive V-shaped recovery, and we're going to go back. But I just thought the risk was way too high. I thought institutions are clearly manipulating. We came to the conclusion, at least me and my coaches, we came to the conclusion that like, look, manipulation will likely continue. They want to get more Bitcoin and Ethereum, for cheaper. So I think it was more likely that we're going to break down to the downside, which we did. And then it allowed me to scoop up some more Ethereum around this price range. And I pretty much did the same thing every single time. We came to the top of this channel. Then I was like, okay, I don't know. It rejected once. It rejected twice. I don't know. I think we have more downside. Boom, sold. Same thing with the holiday weekend, Memorial Day and everything like that. Like, it's just, you can kind of tell the general consensus if you guys are watching the right people, doing your research the right way, looking at the big time, technical analysis guys, as well as the big time fundamental analysis guys, and just looking at pretty much what everybody's doing, listening to billionaires and stuff like that. You can kind of tell the overall general consensus. Like it's not perfect, and there's no way to have a strategy for dictating the news and what people are thinking. But if you're in cryptocurrency long enough, you can develop the skill and the muscle to doing that, of course. Okay. So a couple of other things you take in consideration is one big thing, and this is funny, but it's true. Look at the big technical analysis YouTubers as well as look at TradingView for like the most viral technical analysis patterns, right? And work from there. And the reason I say is, especially if you don't know TA, a lot of them are giving you the answers of what everyone's looking at. So the only reason TA works in the first place is because everybody's looking at it at the exact same time. So everybody's trading off of it. And if people feel bearish, you could tell like when the mood's bearish, and you can see like, for example, if we came up and this is like a future call, if Bitcoin's coming up here, right? And everybody's bearish and there's like a holiday weekend and cryptocurrency typically doesn't do well. Like I'm kind of bringing it back to, what it was before. And then you see YouTubers saying that they're going to sell and this, and it just looks really bearish. And then everything, the general consensus sounds bearish. If people are not as enthusiastic anymore. There's no like fundamental event to bring this price up. Okay. At the top of this channel, I'm probably going to sell. Okay, I'm probably going to sell and wait for it to go down. Okay, and if it doesn't go down, who cares? Because let's say it breaks through to the upside. I only miss out at the top of this channel small percentages. If we break out of this channel, that's super bullish. I only lost 10% in accordance to look how much I made. I made 32% on the downside, and then I made another from here up here, another 30% on the upside, and then I sold over here and then made another 23% on the downside compared to the 10% loss. The only reason I'm selling and buying, and I have paper hands, the only reason I'm doing this is because, again, I refuse to just hold the bag when we have a whole new playing field, right? Institutional adoption, right? These people have never been in this market ever before. They're going to manipulate it, right? We have so much more money in the market. It's just so different now that there's a good likelihood that it could be the end of the bull run. And I'm not saying that off of emotions. I'm saying that because I'm facing the facts, right? We went up way too high with this bull run. If you look at the long term, you could see that we are just moving way too fast comparison to other cycles. And here's another chart, by the way. BLX is a good one. It shows the history of Bitcoin, but look at how fast we went, compared to other ones. This is a long one. Look how quick it just went straight up. Kind of looks similar like this. And everybody keeps saying that we're kind of like in 2013. Well, if we're in 2013, if it's similar to 2013, look at how far it drops. Imagine holding from the top here all the way to the bottom. That's almost a 90% drop. And Bitcoin's price, do you really think you want to hold that? Why would you want to hold that when you could sell your portfolio or at least half your portfolio and buy the dip and then ride it all the way to the top? It just does not make sense the way people are talking on the internet. You know what it is? People diamond handsing and hating me for selling. Those people just don't want to do hard work. They just want to sit back and watch their cryptocurrency grow the same way it's grown this whole entire bull run. They just want to sit there and let the money work while they do something completely different and not have to think. They just don't want to think. And I think that's the big reason why people are getting upset, because now they actually have to do work. And cryptocurrency is not a get rich quick scheme. And I'm sorry that people told you it was, but it's not the case at all. Now, there's a couple other things I have to go into consideration: defensive versus offensive investing. A long story short, basically, the strategy changes. Okay. When the market's bullish, which I do think it's going to come back, and I do think we're going to probably have another altcoin season, but I am not going to bet on that. But I do think it's going to happen. The strategy changes. I'm not trading as much. Right here, the best time to hold and not think about it was here. If you bought down here, yes, holding and not thinking about it and becoming an investor was the best thing to do. Now that we have like this massive dip right here, that you guys can see, this massive crazy dip, the best thing you can do is day trade, or not day trade, but swing trade. Maybe trade every 3 or 4 days, because you could easily get out of the market. But if you're just investing and closing your eyes, not looking at your portfolio, which a lot of people are doing, I'm losing a lot more interest in the videos because people are just not watching in general. I'm looking at every other YouTuber, just like not as many views as it was before. Do the exact opposite of what the herd and the crowd are doing. If everybody else is just chilling and they don't want to look at their portfolio and they want to wait 5 years, you should take advantage of that completely. You should be putting in more activity when the market's going down. Hence why I am trading and watching the charts a lot more, because I can just get out of the market whenever I need to. It's just really quickly for me to do that. But yeah, defensive investing right now is where it's at. I genuinely think the strategy changes. So when we're in a bull run, you buy the altcoins, you hold them for long term, you ride this up. When we're in the bear run, you have to play defensive. You have to get out of the market in some cases really quick. You have to get out of altcoins. You need to have less altcoins. You need to be thinking about more of like the bigger bedrock cryptocurrencies, which for me is Bitcoin, Ethereum, 88, and DOT. You need to have more activity, okay? Because you might be able to get some deals too. Another thing to take in consideration is macroeconomic conditions. So you want to be looking at what's going on in the world, which right now has a big effect with inflation, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the US dollar purchasing power consumer price index, the GDP, monetary supply, inflation, housing market, commodities, G20 currencies, what's going on in the world. You need to be looking at it consistently, looking at cryptocurrency data science charts as well. The basic stuff is at the end there. I'm not going to go over that. That's in all of my other videos. Never, ever invest more than you're willing to lose. If you had no money to buy the dip, you did it wrong. You did it wrong. If there was no money on the sidelines, let's say you didn't sell the top and you had no money on the sidelines, you did it completely wrong. You did not follow the strategy that we talk about on this channel. And it's okay. It's okay. We can make it back. And this is why I'm showing you guys the trading strategy. So just to recap, okay, look for super oversold events. Buy in. If you have no money to buy in, go sell something on eBay, okay? Go sell something on eBay. Look for these historical support and resistance. Very, very simple. Simple is better always, in my personal opinion. Simple is so much better. And I know people are going to try to like harass me about how simple this is. But I promise you guys, this is a completely different market. It's not Forex, okay? You can't pull things, these crazy indicators that worked in Forex that do not work as well in crypto. They do work, and some of them are working better because there's more institutional demand. And the same tricks that are being pulled out in traditional finance are now being pulled out in crypto. But I still think you should be using very simple, basic charting that everybody else is using. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to like it, but I can show you what my portfolio did from the transparency and trust from the blockchain. I can show you the results. Don't believe me, verify, okay? Don't believe me, verify. The truth will always set you free. That's it for this video. Just trade historical support resistance, look up classical technical analysis, get better in your charting, look at very simple indicators like volume, MACD, RSI, moving averages, very simple stuff. Keep your eye on it on all time frames, not just the hourly, not just the 4 hour, not the daily, not always the weekly. The weekly makes you feel comfortable, but the minute makes you feel crazy. Don't just stare at the minute all day. Definitely don't upgrade TradingView to the seconds. Like there's even one where you can look at the price in seconds. That's ridiculous. You don't need to be looking at that. But yeah, get knowledge up, man. Get your knowledge up. It's the most predictable factor. And this is why I'm going to drop more videos through the bear run than I did in the bull run. We need to learn more because that's the one thing can never take from us. They can take money all they want, but knowledge is power. That's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Alex here. Quick update, quick announcement. Guys, I have a new community number. So I got a second phone. You could directly text me. I'm answering all questions. My new phone number is 954-758-5473. Again, that's 954-758-5473. I'm answering all comments. Go ahead and text me now. Let's have a conversation.